Welcome into the Betfred College Football Betting Show. I am Drew Martin. This is presented by Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred gives you more. It's supposed to be going on Fridays. Usually we have the whole season. This week, got to push it up one day due to a personal reason. And I wanted to get down on some of these numbers, guys. So got 3 games on the Saturday slate. Wanted to get out to you first, starting in the Conference of Champions, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific kick here. We get the Washington Huskies and the Oregon Ducks going at it. We're seeing Oregon minus 13, 72.5 being the total. High total in the Conference of Champions, but guess what? It is high for a reason. Getting up and over this. First bet on the slate. Look, we're looking at Oregon 6-0 in the conference in Pac-12 play, 8-1 overall. Of course, winning 8 straight games since losing that first game in blowout fashion to Georgia. They've been a huge money maker. 6 of their last 8. I think this is going a little bit under the radar to the over. They're playing a really good offensive football here. And actually, this matchup is 2 of the top 10 offenses in terms of total offense in the nation. How many yards are you putting up on offense? Well, these are the two top 10 offenses in the country, led by their quarterbacks. Michael Penix Jr., the lefty going for Washington. He already has over 3,200 yards on the season. And Bo Nix, the former Auburn quarterback, who I saw play a lot in the SEC. And look, one thing I've noticed with Bo Nix is we're seeing his athleticism kind of shine in the Pac-12, where I think kind of the better defensive fronts of the SEC held him back a little bit. He's really playing well out on the West Coast. And offensively, guys, I think they go up and down the field. Plus the fact we got to look at weather as we get into November here. Weather can get bad really all over the country. And sure enough, in Eugene, looks like 50 degrees, light winds, no rain projected on Saturday afternoon. So good atmosphere for scoring a bunch of points. This is the number 1 pass offense nationally. Talking about the Washington Huskies here. We talked about Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., all those yards he's put up, number 1 offense. And if there is a weakness for Oregon, it's their pass defense, guys. Ranked number 117. Now, usually they're playing with a lead in Pac-12 play, but still, when you're giving up that many yards throwing the football, I think Washington's going to move it. 72.5. I see this finishing, something like, 47-37, something like that. Really high scoring game. Starting us off here with an up and over play, guys. So let's give a shout out to the sponsor of the show. That's Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred, one of Europe's biggest sports books, started back in 1967 by Fred Drone. They're now in the USA and have hit the market in a big way as the official betting partner of the Denver Broncos, Colorado Rockies, soon to be, and soon the Cincinnati Bengals, soon in Ohio as well. Currently licensed in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Washington, Maryland, and soon Ohio. So next game up here, guys, actually heading to Louisiana in the Big Easy, 3:30 Eastern game. We got the next one in the SEC, but this one heading to America's Conference here, the American Conference. UCF at Tulane, big one here. Whoever wins this is going to be on top of the standings in the conference. And of course, the American, a big route into those New Year's 6 bowls. So in terms of sidewise, this is huge. The Knights and the Green Wave. I'm actually going after it from the total, 54.5. Minus 1.5, that's Tulane as the home favorite. But guys, this total 54.5 seems a little low. I like it to the under. First off, checking the weather, 20 to 25 mile an hour winds in the Big Easy. So watch out there. And reminder, Tulane doesn't play in the dome like they did actually now a bunch of years back where the Saints play. They have their own stadium now. It's a little intimate atmosphere, but it's doesn't have a roof on it. So watch out for those winds. Might have some rain as well. Here's the reason I really like it. Yes, the weather does help. But when people think of these two teams, UCF, a lot of people would probably think like up-tempo offense, Gus Malzahn, Willie Fritz going for Tulane, wide open rushing attack. Actually, both of them, neither team really runs up-tempo offense. We got UCF at number 50 in the country, like middle of the pack. And Tulane, number 87. They're actually one of the slower teams, letting almost 28 seconds go in between each snap. So I don't think we're going to have all that many plays. Both defensive units, I think, are the superior units on each of these two teams. And here's the stat I really like: run percentage of plays called is 58% for both of these two teams. That's top 30 in the country. So both teams going to be keeping it on the ground, not throwing the ball. And of course, when you run the ball a lot, the clock runs. Whereas if you throw the football and it's an incomplete pass, the clock doesn't run. So I think that we're actually going to get that clock ticking a bunch. Neither team in a hurry, not a whole lot of total plays. And it actually shows, guys, this is riding under the radar a little bit. 6-12 to the under. That's UCF and Tulane combined. Both of them 3-6 individually, combined 6-12, 6 overs, 12 unders. I think we get more of the same on Saturday, 3:30 Eastern in the Big Easy. UCF and Tulane under 54.5. Got one game left for you guys. Hopefully go 2-1, if not 3-0. And hey, we've put together back-to-back 2-1 efforts here. So making some coin, looking to do it again, keep the good times rolling. Betfred Sportsbook, more back in free bets than any other book out there. We've been bonusing on handle. So the more you bet, the more you get back in free bets, more than any other big book available. We don't give away money at the door, but once you prove to be a good bettor, we'll give you more than anyone out there. Rich history at Betfred Sportsbook, and actually they will give you some in the door. Right now, if you sign up at betfredsports.com and you bet $50+, you'll receive $250 in free bets. Check out Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred gives you more. Last game here, CBS 3:30 Eastern kick, Alabama and Ole Miss. 64.5 being the total. We're seeing Alabama minus 12-point road favorites. Get your popcorn ready. Lane Kiffin versus former boss Nick Saban. And guys, this is a fun one to watch. Alabama off of their second loss of the season. We'll see if that keeps them out of the playoffs. I'm not so sure, even though a lot of people think so. But going after this one from a totals perspective and liking it to the over 64.5. So we got 2 overs, 1 under for the card. Lane Kiffin, what is he known for? What got him here? Well, 1, his dad, but 2, he's a good play caller, and he's off of a bye week, extra time to prepare. He worked for Nick Saban, knows what would work for him. So I would look for a lot of plays that Alabama hasn't actually seen yet year to date. And Ole Miss playing a lot more up-tempo. Their offense is playing better. 4 straight overs, and really their defense, not very good. One of the worst defenses in the SEC. Number 80 in terms of total defense, nationally ranked, giving up over 380 yards on average per game, going up against this Alabama offense. Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young throwing it around off of a loss. You know they're going to be angry. I would look for Alabama to put up big points here. Go for north of 40, and I think Ole Miss gets theirs too. I think they punch it in 4 or 5 times. So 64.5. Plus, both of these two coaches don't like each other. If they have an extra time to kind of get another touchdown there at the end, could see that happening. So if it's close, I think we get up and over either way due to these two teams not really liking each other, but even more so the head coaches, Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin. So 64.5 to the over. Appreciate everybody tuning in at Drew Martin Bets on YouTube, putting it up on Facebook as well and Twitter. If you could smash that like button, it does help me out. And please feel free to reply below. It helps the algorithm grow the show. And check out Betfred Sportsbook, guys. Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Washington, Maryland, and soon Ohio. So that's going to do it for the show. 3 plays. We got Washington, Oregon over 72.5, UCF, Tulane under 54.5, and Alabama, Ole Miss over 64.5. So if you're tailing out there, let's cash these tickets. Have a fun, safe week.